So you guys might think, oh yeah, I'm super happy I can fix the IK handgun bounce. And yes, that's true. And you might now we are finished, but we are not. We are not. We can still improve stuff, like always in software development. There's always some headroom left where we can improve the systems. And for that, we will introduce a very nice way to get to the next frame or previous frame or set a specific frame directly in the window and not to have a mess around with this slider all the time, because that's really annoying. And for that, we will introduce a new editor utility. No, not editor. A new actor action utility. Quite hard. So, and we can do the following. So we go to content in our plugin and go into the health object editor and create a new one. And here we can go to editor utilities. This one it is correct. For this one it will work. Actor action utility, select BP health object editor hooks, and we will call a new function here or create a new function. But at first, let's override the function get supported class, and there that's the nice thing, we can use our health object editor stuff and compile, save, add a function here and say set frame, and we get an input. So make it bigger, you can see it better. It's an integer, of course, and we say here frame. And let's see how it is implemented. Yeah, set frame. It's called in the editor, and we move it into our character tools category. Compile, save, and let's check if it works as expected. So here we've scripted actor assets, character tools, set frame. Then we get this new window here, and we can set, for example, frame 9, and then it will switch to frame 9, the tool, or the instance of the tool. And for that we close a lot of stuff here which we don't need currently. Yeah, the other things we might need. So here we expose this to a local variable and say L_frame, and we say get selected actors. It's a bit different, but it's the same structure we had before for our blue utilities. And here we iterate over all of them, for each loop, connect the execution pin. Then we cast health object editor, and we say set frame. Of course, that's not implemented yet. We need a function there as well. So we go into the health object editor, the base class, and we say set frame, and we introduce an integer here as well. Frame, frame. So that's our stub, that we can still finish this stuff here and say set frame. Yep, call this here, and here we use lframe. So basically, first function is done, and so we now need to implement also here how this should be handled. Promote this to a local variable, L_requested frame, and we use a sequence node here. Press S, left click, connect the execution pin, and we on this part we say apply, not apply point damage, apply, yeah, this one, And the pose, how is this function called? Basic, it's in the private section, I guess. Apply pose from anim sequence as well. So that we basically update our skeletal mesh or posable skeletal mesh if we change the frame. And here we modify our frame index. So no, it's not get, it's set. Sorry guys, it's set. Move this one. I mean, you could still improve the structure here, but I want to keep it simple. And we say clamp. That's why we code the clamp multiple times here, but I think it's fine. Animation sequence. And we say get num frames. That's the maximum value. 0 is the minimum. And then we set the value here. So we connect this one here. And now we move this one down to the right. So also, oh, what happened? So also this down. And this one more to the right. Also more down, more to the left. So it looks quite okay for me. And that's the one I don't like. So I'm just playing around all the time with the alignment. So, and I think what we also would need is something like this. I don't want to access the animation sequence if it is not valid. From outside it might crash or introduce some very weird errors into the log. You will notice when there is no animation sequences set, because then you just see the reference pose of the mesh. So move this to the right as well. So that's quite fine. Let's see if it works already. Then we can still improve it a little bit. Let's do it like this. So save, compile, and now we can do a right click. Scripted actor actions, set frame, and we say, for example, frame 1, and it updates our pose, but it did not update our held object. So let's see why quickly. So 2, 1. So location is there. Maybe I did it wrong. Oh no, that's wrong. That's the wrong node. Sorry guys. That's the different node. How is it called? Yeah, that's the node we need. Apply held object. Location and rotation. Compile, save, right click, set frame. Let's use 9. Okay, and then we can still switch the frames here. And what we can do now is still improve the stuff. Yeah, you might now wondering why, when is Achim stopping improving stuff? I think that will never be the case. we can still do a lot of stuff to make it more convenient for us. Next frame, and we will also implement the function previous frame and move this into the section as well. So here, this up, file. So let's see how we can implement this one. Set next frame is very easy. We can just always copy stuff around from here and say next frame. Come on. And then we will call a cast node, cast, our editor, no, held object editor, right? And the same can be used for the previous frame. So, and then we can go back into our health object editor, and here, that's the interesting part. Now we can do the following. Let's move this into a public section. Public, or let's say it's editor. And we can also introduce a new function, say next frame, and another new function, previous frame. So, and also move this into the correct category. And here in next frame, we do the following. Then we get our frame index and we say +1. And we call our function setFrame. So, and let's see if this works already when we connect it here, of course. So here say next frame. I think you might get bored already of me when I say next frame, this frame, but that's how it is when you code. And we set 0 and we move one frame forward. So next frame. Why did it not work? Yeah, let's use 1 and see why did it not work. So it's +1, we say set frame, next frame, and in the oh guys, I was so wrong. We need to introduce this function in next frame, not previous frame, here in the editor hook script. So that's now it should work. So right click, next frame. So yeah, next frame. So it works perfectly fine. Now let's implement previous frame. It can be also done quite easily. If we go into previous frame, and here we can copy a lot of stuff from here and say previous frame, copy paste. So here we need to use the minus node, the subtraction node. It's a bit different on Unreal 5, but we don't care, as it still works as expected. So align them, compile, save, and we go into editor scripts, editor hook scripts, and say here previous frame. Compile, save, and we can go previous frame and next frame. And we can also set a specific frame if we go here, set frame. Or maybe I clicked on the set frame, sorry, set frame, and say 9, and we see this frame. So we improved our usability a lot and can still save the work and go to the next session.